Next question is question number 008 from Levon Muhammad from Georgia, who is a homemaker. The question is for those of us at home all over the world who therefore are not at Hajj. Is it obligatory for everyone that can afford it to sacrifice an animal and share it with others? The communities that I'm familiar with, some members do it and some do not. I have not heard a clear statement from the Imam. Please help me to understand what is obligatory. There are a lot of online solicitations for Qurbani, Udhiyah, but the purchaser never receives any of the meat. What is your advice on this practice? During the first 10 days of the Hijjah, the best act of worship, if able, is to go to Hajj. There's nothing during this time that is more than Hajj for whoever can afford it, because that is the time for it. And all ibadah that you will do outside Al-Hajj and all sort of worship that you will do that is not Hajj are all found in Hajj in case you perform Hajj. So if you can do and perform Hajj, do it. If you've done it already, may Allah accept it from you. But let's say for those of us who are not going to Hajj, one of the best acts of worship is al-dhabh or al-nahr, sacrifice. When you sacrifice a sacrificial animal on the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, or the 13th of the Hijjah. Sacrificing is one of the best acts of worship. However, what you mentioned that some organizations or some communities or some masajids, they ask for money to prepare qurbani. This is not what Allah asks of us. Allah did not ask us to give money to a masjid or money to an organization to do the sacrifice for us. To those who are doing that, I apologize and I'm sorry. But Allah did not ask you to give any masjid or any organization money to do qurbani for you and then send the meat elsewhere, because people outside the United States or the UK or in the Western Hemisphere, people don't really need meat as do the people of Africa or those who are in the third world country. Allah already answered this for us. In chapter 22, verse 37, Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَن يَنَالَ اللَّهَ لُحُومُهَا وَلَا دِمَاؤُهَا. It is not the meat nor the blood or the reason behind the sacrifice of that sacrificial animal is the taqwa that generates, the piety that springs from your system when you sacrifice. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كَذَلِكَ سَخَّرْنَاهَا لَكُمْ لِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ. We've made those animals subservient to you so that you magnify Allah and say tasbih and praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what He had guided you to. So as you are dragging your animal to slaughter, you are making tasbih and takbir, Allahu Akbar. As you slaughtering it, Allahu Akbar. As you yourself eating from it, you magnifying Allah. This meat is better than all the meat that you've been buying from grocery stores or from Jetro or from Walmart or from Costco or from Restaurant Depot. So this has its own blessing. Allah said, eat from it. Now you send it to different country. You ask them to ship it back to you. So dear brothers, we should not let organizations or people to pursue us to do things that are not from Allah. So dear sister or dear brother, when it's time for your sacrifice, do it yourself. If you can't do it on the day of Eid, which is the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, because you have a job that you cannot leave because it's an emergency, then do it on the 11th. If you cannot do it on the 11th, do it on the 13th. If you cannot do it on the 13th, do it on the 14th. If you can't do it on the first day, do it the second, the third, or the fourth. But the quicker you respond to Allah, the better. And program yourself that on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, I have something special to do for Allah. So months ahead, you let your boss know if you are not the owner of the company.